Also, I've just been handed this note here from Council Member Paul Corrence, who is a Los Angeles council member, and I'd like to read this to you. He writes, I'd like to adjourn in memory of Ronnie James Dio, born Ronald James Padovana in Portsmouth, New Hampshire in 1942. He had an amazing career in music, marked by tremendous success with bands like Elf, Rainbow, Black Sabbath, and Dio. He began his career playing with rockabilly bands in the late 50s and gained wide exposure in 1972, while his band Elf was the opening act for Deep Purple. In 1979, he replaced Ozzy Osbourne as the frontman of Black Sabbath, and he toured with Sabbath until 1982, and by then he had formed his own group, Dio. Ronnie's charisma on stage was complemented by his compassion off stage. As an organizer for the non-profit organization Children of the Night, he was dedicated to the cause of assisting children who were forcefully subjected to prostitute themselves on the streets. Since 1979, this organization has provided victims of forced prostitution with intervention and counseling, as well as a roof over their heads and a place to sleep. And last, but certainly the best part of all this, that council member Paul Corrence has proclaimed May 30th today, Ronnie James Dio Day in Los Angeles. On a number, and the number would come up, and if your number hit, you could pick any album you wanted on the wall. And one day my number hit, man did it ever. And I looked at the wall and I saw a bunch of album covers, and I saw this album with some angels smoking cigarettes on the cover. And I said to the guy behind the counter, I'll take that one. And he handed me the album, and I took it home, and I knew it would piss off my parents, which was really the reason I selected it. And dropped the needle on the record, and what I heard absolutely floored me. I had, like many people, been aware of Black Sabbath, but at that point I was very young and really didn't know much about anything Sabbath before that, beyond having heard the name. But for me, and as we found going forward, so many others, a lot of people discovered Black Sabbath with Ronnie James Dio. It's certainly met with no disrespect to anything that Sabbath did prior to that, because that is obviously landmark and legendary beyond belief. They are the creators, the architects. What Tony, Bill, and Geezer did is just simply beyond words. But for me, this was special. This has always been a special part for me and many others of the Black Sabbath story. For someone like Ronnie to be able to walk into that sort of situation and really take things to a whole other level and revive and resuscitate a legendary band, it's hard to believe anybody else could have done that. And he did that and then some. I was so moved by it that a couple years later, when I graduated high school, I took the quote from The Back of Heaven and Hell and put it under my yearbook picture, and that really pissed off my parents. Ladies and gentlemen, let's turn our attentions to the screen and watch the rebirth of Black Sabbath with Ronnie James Dio.
enduring symbol of heavy metal culture?
I'm of Italian extraction, and my grandmother, my grandfather, on both sides of both my mother's and father's side, came to America from Italy, and they had superstitions. And I would always see my grandmother when I was a little kid, you know, with her holding my hand walking down the street. She would see someone and go, what's that? I eventually learned that it was called the Maloik. And the Maloik was someone was giving us the evil eye, so she was giving it protection against the evil eye. Or you could give someone the evil eye too. So invent it, no. But perfect it and make it important, yes, because I did it so much, especially within the confines of that great band, Sabbath, which had this incredible name already. You put that together with what people think it is. For me, because I'm lucky enough to have kind of just have done it so much, it's been more equated with me than anyone else. Although Gene Simmons will tell you that he invented it. But then again, Gene invented breathing.
So anyway, so Nick was the one who had to give a demonstration to the fire marshal in London. And so he didn't really know how much powder to put into the charges. So he just
Supposed to be.
So he just poured as much as
He was supposed to be one spoonful and he put one cupful or something.
And he also doesn't cook well. Figure that one. Yeah, so we filled it all up and everyone went, okay, everyone move away, and everyone moved away as they will, and someone made the cry, fire in the hole, and Nick hit the button, and he blew a hole right in the stage of Emerson Cody.
And I saw him go down.
Fell in.
I saw him.
So it was a hole and no Nick anymore. But to make matters even better, at that point, because you had a lot of IRA bombings going on, someone thought it was an IRA thing, so the police turned up.
Handcuffed.
And they found Nick, took him off, arrested him for being an IRA.